Won't touch that. We'll call the meeting for Monday, May 20th, 2024 to order. We'll have to ask Chandra to take roll call.
Councilman Clay.
Here.
Councilman Hughes. Here. Councilman Clint. Absent. Councilman Miners.
Here.
Councilman Schuyler.
Present.
Councilman Shaheen.
Here.
All stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do any council members have conflicts of interest they want to report? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
And a second. Councilman Schuyler has made a motion to accept the consent agenda, seconded by Councilman Hughes. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
In reviewing your agenda, I would like at this time if you would move item number 3 in new business to item number 1, if you would, please. With that change, I would entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
I'd make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
And a second?
I'll second it.
Moved by Councilman Miners, second by Justin to accept the agenda with the change. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Motion carries. At this time, we have a 10-minute window at every city council meeting for public input. If anybody would like to have 2 minutes of time in front of the council, we welcome you to the mic at this time. Seeing nobody there, we'll go on to item number 2, recognition of Engel Trucking for a donation of $500 to our winter city parks. Thank you, Engel Trucking. Are there any new hires, Chandra?
Yes. We had 2 new hires in the previous 2 weeks. The first is Jocelyn Clute. Am I saying that right? Yep. Starting wage of $20.93 in the Corrections Department as a part-time corrections officer and no benefits with 6-month probation. And the second is for Brian Remmers at starting wage for a certified officer of $23.41 as a police officer in the Police Department, 6-month probation with full benefits.
Okay, thank you, Chandra. Moving on to department reports. Public Works Director, Mr. Troy Kruger, please.
Good evening, everyone. I'll start off with water and sewer. Monthly water samples sent out to the state lab. Monthly meter readings, which is our last time. If you don't have anything that the guys will have to walk around and do actual meter readings. We discharged our lagoons last month, approximately 35 million gallons. And all the records and data's been sent off to the state for that discharge. We built some fire hydrants around town. Taking curb stop, 605 through Square, through that. We've been working on the recycle asphalt pile down at the softball field parking lot. With all the wet weather, I'd like to just take a minute here and remind the public, if you have anything in your yard, old garbage can lids, 5-gallon pails, anything like that that have water in them, that's a breeding grounds for mosquitoes. And mosquitoes are going to be bad. Just get a little bit of heat. We've been putting out larvicide and we've sprayed a couple times already. But keep in mind with all the wet weather, lawn rats, also is a place that mosquitoes like to get into and keep your yard short, keep everything dumped out in your yards. That's where the breed and we'll have a mosquito. What people crazy here pretty soon.
Can you hear me now? And so on our commercial side with the water meter switch out, we're just waiting on about a dozen 2-inch meters, and that project's complete. Streets and sanitation, they've been working on the recycle pile. We hosed down, cleaned up Main Street last week, did a bunch of sweeping on Main Street, the highway in preparation of the highway presentation that they had last Friday. We cut out one of the bad traffic loops from the stoplight situation, so I'll bring you guys, some of the council members in here up to speed on that. We got that traffic signal from the state donated to the city back in 2021 with that part of the project. And in that installation, just over the, right away from the very get-go, we had some issues with the loops on the south side of Main Street. So with the last big event when we had a lightning strike and it took out the whole stoplight, we've been in the repairing that whole mess over the last 11 months, 12 months. We finally got everything up, and we had Traffic Solutions come out, and we determined that the 2 loops on the south side of Main Street were bad. So we cut one out last week, and they just sent me the equipment to do another one. As soon as we get all the parts and pieces, we'll cut that out. Hopefully we'll have that stoplight back and working the way it's supposed to work. Last week we did replace the preamps for the emergency vehicles, and so that system is up and working again, so getting closer.
Sorry, were the bad loops from the lightning, or they just went bad? Or?
I don't think so. I think it was when the initial installation was done. I think what happened was when they did the highway project, there was a portion of that got cut out and new concrete got laid, and I think the loops are in the old part of the concrete, so they had to actually cut the loops in. Then when they wired them under and put them in, that was in the new portion. I think something just got pinched, and so we've just been fighting that ever since. So hopefully have that remedied soon here. Like I said, we've been cleaning up for the highway project presentation, the loop, hauling grass for the Parks Department, cut down a couple trees in the cemetery. We have put up speed limit signs, one on South County coming into town from the south, and one on North County coming into town from the north, to slow traffic down to our new speed limit, which is 25 miles per hour in town. We also put up a school zone by the elementary school on South County. Asked if we'd do that by the Public Safety Department. So there's now on South County, there is a school zone in there, so 25 or 15 when kids are present. Did some dirt repairs from the snow removal season where we gouged people's yards. Went around and repaired those, and the shop's been busy keeping the mowing crew and everyone else running. Parks, ball field prep, they're super busy. They're heavy into their ball season. They're working on the cemetery. We're getting ready for Memorial Day. Spraying and seeding. McDonald's ball field is complete. I believe they're playing a game on it tonight. So the little guys' field at McDonald's is done. And I'd like to take a minute to personally thank the Methodist Church for the City of Winter. And they donated 4 park benches for our cemetery. So I will be bringing that information to Cemetery Committee, and we'll kick around some ideas on what we can do with those park benches and put a place up for some of this, some seating out there. But thanks again. Much appreciated that the Methodist Church donated those 4 benches to the City of Winter. Light Department pulled wire out. They got the rest of their wire pulled out at the golf course, and they terminated the switch out there, so it's all one line now. Took their tools and accessories off their old bucket and put it on the new bucket. They had a couple emergencies out at the wagon wheel this spring when it was all wet and sloppy out there, so they went out there and fixed up those ruts and fixed the dirt out there. And we've had several good-sized homes that have come through winter. When that happens, they both went down South County, and so we have to take the wires down in a couple of different places down there, put the wires back up after the houses go by. So we're working on probably boring under, doing some different things down there, but we've had like 3 houses in the last 2 weeks go through there, so they were doing that. Electrical department, Ray finished up the wiring in the 200 amp service for McDonald's Field, so we have lights out there for the little guys. We have 2 speakers that are working at Leahy Bowl. We've got some outdated equipment up there, so that's something else that I'm going to probably bring up in Parks and Cemetery here to see if we want to do something different. We've pretty much determined that 2 of the speakers are shot. We've fixed them multiple times, and there's just, I don't think it's worth putting any money back into them. They've probably been up there for 30 years, I'm guessing, maybe more, but, so we have 2 of the 4 working right now, so another topic for Parks and Cemetery. Ray helped with the loop on the highway. He helped with installing the preamps for the emergency vehicles, and then outlets at the pools. We had a couple bad outlets up there, and he's been updating firmware on electric meters. Any questions?
Troy, street sweeper, how did the demo go on that, and how's our other one, our old one running?
The demo went great. Really nice machine. It did everything we wanted to do. We were looking for particularly a machine that would do well with sand. That's what gets drug into town in winter, is a lot of sand. So we gave it a good test. Multiple spots in town where the sand was, 6-7 inches deep on the intersections, and we ran it through it. Did a wonderful job. Our current sweeper, Chandra and I worked on that a little bit today, getting some history on that. That was purchased in 2016. We paid about $180,000 for it. It was a demo unit. It's, I guess, goes back before me, but I just have heard a lot of people say that machine has just never really done what the machine before that did. The guys that work down at the streets department said it's not as good as the previous machine. It does not like sand. We run it without water. We run it with water. It just smears. It doesn't really want to pick it up. One thing that the new machine has that this one doesn't have is it's got adjustable gutter brooms, so it does a much better job of getting down in the gutter and taking the material out of the gutter, bringing it out into the streets. That's one unit. We're looking at other ones, but that's something for streets. I didn't have a streets committee this last week, so we did not discuss it other than the fact that we've demoed it. But I'll bring that up to them next time the streets committee meets. But yeah, really good outfit. I guess I was going to touch briefly on the two bid openings. We had one for our parks equipment, and we looked those over pretty thoroughly today. The one bidder came in and they actually bid every item that we asked them to bid, so technically the other bidder is disqualified because they didn't bid what we asked for. The other thing, there's quite a bit of price difference in the two. When it comes to the playground equipment, the one that was lower did not include the mulch and the border that goes around, so the price was off a little bit there. The other thing that they didn't include is they did not include shipping. So after looking at them, I guess technically if we were to accept the lower bid because they did not include all the bid items, we would have to do a change order on our grant application, and we'd have to go out for bids, or we'd have to get quotes on every item, and then we would have to present that to the state. And when you look at the shipping on all the other, so the higher bid that included everything, that bidder did include shipping on everything, so it's kind of a wash when it comes to that. It's going to be a lot neater and cleaner if we go with one entity that bids out everything. Otherwise, we have to go back and we have to make sure that they meet all the specs that the state required for that grant application. It's got to be U.S. steel, it's got to be U.S. made, so quite a bit of work involved in that. And at the end of the day, when you look at shipping and freight and all that stuff, they're pretty similar. So I guess my recommendation is to take the bid for the company that bid everything that we asked for. That's what the state is asking us to do, so I guess that's my best answer. And then the chip seal bid. So the chip seal bid came in at a little bit about $77,000, which is, we budgeted $50,000 for the project this year. This company that got the bid, they're going to do a fog seal. They're going to pick up the chips. They're going to do their own traffic control. So it came in a little higher than anticipated. The budget will cover it. We've got like $15,000 in another line that we're not going, that we didn't really purchase any cold mix this year. So it's $77,000. We budgeted $50,000. We might have to cut back on one of our grind and overlay streets or do something different there. I know DB's, our curb and gutter project, that came in at like $80,000 and we had $100,000 budgeted for that. So I guess at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is we're going to be fine with the chip seal bid the way it came in. So any questions on either one of those bids?
No, thank you. Mr. Droshek, if they bid but don't bid to bid specs, doesn't that disqualify them anyway?
I'll have to look into that, and I can let the committee know. But I was looking at that right now, and I was actually reading through those statutes, so I may have an answer sooner than that committee meeting as well.
I thought that was my mind. But
Yeah. One thing in particular that I noticed is part of the bid spec, we did ask them to include shipping and freight, and they did not do that. So that's
Do you know approximately how much the shipping was on the one that was included for the Dakota Play, whatever?
just the playground equipment itself was about $2,000. That was just the playground equipment to ship that.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kruger. From the Finance Officer, Chandra Phillips, please.
I really don't have a lot for you guys, because Brad has me on a 2-minute egg timer for my report tonight. So first thing is I am working on getting the microphones hooked up to a speaker in here so that when someone is here or across the room, we will be able to hear it within the room as well. So I do have someone working on that. The concern is to make sure it doesn't backfeed onto the live stream. So they are looking into that. He does believe that our switchboard has enough area to do it, just making sure that the speakers that are already here are going to work and all of that. So the only other thing I want to talk about is your financial statement that's in your packet. You guys did approve it in the consent agenda. I'm not here to tell you anything's wrong on it. I'm here to just kind of explain it for some of the newer folks and for the public. So we have it semi-color coded. Money that is available is the light blue color. That is money that is expendable. If it is the maroon color, the dark maroon color, that is set aside specifically for something else. We can't touch it unless council says we have to. The first one that you'll see on your financial statement, the Street Rural Development Reserve, our contract with that loan company, lending agency, requires that we have at least 1 year's worth of payments set aside in case we have no revenue for a year and we can make that payment. The next one is the electric reserve. It's supposed to be for emergency purposes. With any resolution, council can come in and deem that it's an emergency and that they need to use it. It is not due to a natural disaster. That is not what the motion said when they started setting this aside. It just said due to emergency purposes. So if something comes up and we need to purchase a street sweeper because it is an emergency situation, you would have that availability to those funds. The water surcharge and the sewer surcharge, same thing as the street roll development. They are set aside specifically for payments on our loans. The sewer and water capital outlays, those will be going away soon. Those were monies that the city, by resolution, set aside so much per year, specifically for the highway project. We still have some final closeouts to do on the highway project. There's still, I guess I don't know if it's completed yet, but there were still a couple items that needed to be marked off from Osborne's, and then with Reedy Construction as well. Just had to wait for the weather to be nice to get those completed. Once the project is completely closed out, we've paid off our engineers, we've paid off all of our debts in relation to that, then I would have council make a motion to move that money back into those specific cash on hand, sewer and water of what's remaining. When we originally started setting a money aside, back in 2016, when we started planning for this project, we thought we would have to pay our portion 100% out of pocket. Since that time, we received almost $500,000 in ARPA funds, which came through because of COVID, and then we also received a CDBG grant of over $600,000. So we didn't actually have to utilize the outlay money, hardly any of it, for what we thought we were going to have to. Now that money will be available for some other projects which we know are coming up down the pike. So that is great use of grants and other federal funds that we had, and they were very specific what we could use them for. So we have fulfilled our requirements there. So the storm sewer account, you'll see on there, that is the $1 fee or fine that you see on your utility bills that is for storm sewer. It is specifically for storm sewer upgrades. At this point in time, there was some monies taken out of there at the end of 2022 to purchase some concrete blocks. But at this point in time, nothing else has come out of that line as we're waiting to complete some projects that need to happen. Airport and communications and 24/7, which 24/7 we will be talking about eventually. We no longer are operating 24/7. We have no more expenses. We're just waiting for some final checks to be cashed so that when I come to you, I can say, okay, this fund is ready to be closed out. We've done all of our research. We've done what we need to. And at that time, then council will need to decide, are we going to move it back into the electric fund? Because that is who supported to put that back up in the black so that we could keep writing checks per our auditors. Or are we going to give that over to the municipal jail? So those are some things that we'll have to consider once we're ready to close that out. Airport and 911, they're considered specialty funds by the state, which means they're not part of the general fund, but also they're not necessarily guaranteed to make you any money. So you may have to supplement them from time to time, and the main reason is either, number one, it won't make money. No PSAP really does make money unless I've heard rumor that maybe Minnehaha County and Pennington County might make money, but I don't know that for a fact. You still aren't gonna make a ton of money on it even if you do. So it's known to need support. Airport is pretty much 98% funded by the federal grants. And we have so much money that's allotted to us every single year, whether it be bill money or CIP money, and we have to spend it specifically for improvements at the airport. The I skipped ahead. Perpetual cemetery. We are required by state statute to keep $50,000 in this. When somebody purchases a grave site, they pay $60 to the city of Winter as part of that purchase that goes for perpetual care. That is how we pay for certain upkeep items at the cemetery. The last time we used money out of there was to pay for sprinklers so that we could update and upgrade the sprinkler system over there. And they purchased sprinklers and now they're installing those as they have time. But we are required to keep at least $50,000 in there. We don't make a ton of money each year off this. There is some interest that we receive, and then the $60 as people purchase grave sites. And then finally, the WPD trust. This is not city money. This is strictly prisoner money. There is no city money in there at all. It is only when you come in as a prisoner and you need to give us money to write a check over for your bond payment, or if you have money in your pocket that you want to buy some commissary with or just keep there or what have you, that is your money. We cannot touch it because it's theirs. So this account is strictly It's on there because, yes, it is a city checking account, but ultimately, we have no spending authority through there. We do have a resolution that allows for sergeants, lieutenants, administration or department head, and then the finance officer and the mayor are the only ones who are allowed to sign checks. So when a customer checks out and they want to take that money that they came in with in their pocket, we can write them a check to go with them to wherever their next facility is that they're going, or if they're being released at that point in time. So that was a lot of information. If you have questions, let me know.
Thank you, Chandra. At this time, I'll ask Troy Kruger to give us an official bid opening. Do you have anything in, is the paper in our packet, Chandra?
You have it in front of you.
Yep. And once again, Troy, I would like your recommendation on what council should consider doing here.
Playground set, Bailey's Complex improvements bid opening. Chandra and I were present, Finance Committee room, 1 o'clock. So My Turn Play Systems included a bid for the structure, $59,095. Softball, baseball windscreens, no bid. Softball fence top cap, no bid. Border for playground, $8,160. Chain link fence, no bid. And the backstops, no bid. Dakota Playground, their structure and all shipping of all materials, $82,280. Dakota Playground, which is the border and mulch, $8,061. $7,567. That includes the softball fence top and the softball, baseball windscreen. The Dakota Playground was item number 1. That's the mulch included in that price for the playground set. And then the backfield backstop. So total bid price for Dakota Playground was $128,810. My recommendation is that you go with Dakota Playground. They bid everything that was included, and their bid includes shipping and freight.
Is that on budget, under budget, over budget?
It's actually under budget. We budgeted $140,000.
Very good.
grant money for this?
Under.
And we received a grant.
Correct.
What percent does the grant pay?
It's a 50/50 grant, so we'll end up paying $70,000, and the grant will pay $70,000.
Any other questions for Troy? Okay, thank you. No public hearings, no Board of Adjustments. We'll move on to old business. Is there a motion, please?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Mason Droshik for the city attorney and have the mayor sign all documents.
I
Is
would
there a
second that.
Okay, Hughes. Motion by Skylar, second by Hughes, to enter into a contract with Mason Jurassic for the city attorney and have the mayor sign. We'll do a roll call vote. Councilman Clay,
Yes.
Miners,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Skylar,
Aye.
and Shaheen.
Yes.
Thank you very much. That motion passes. Item number 2. Do we have a motion?
I would make a motion to second, for the second reading for passage and approval of ordinance 1076 parking amendment.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion by Hughes, second by Skylar for second reading for passage and approval of ordinance 1076, parking amendment. We'll do a roll call vote. Councilman Miners,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Skylar,
Aye.
Shaheen,
Yeah.
and Clay.
Yes.
That motion passes. Item number 3. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the agreement with Frontline Warning Systems for the annual maintenance of fire sirens. The mayor signed.
Motion by Shaheen, is there a second?
I'd second that, but I'd like, Chandra, do you have the dollar amount for the rest of the council?
Yes. Sorry, I have to find it.
All right.
So, there was a few questions on the contract from the last council meeting, and I apologize, I didn't have it in front of me. We did find some information. There was more questions that came out of committee, and I think I have most of your answers. The first is, we have had a contract with Frontline before, but we have not had one since 2017. That was the last time we paid for a contract with them. Since then, we discovered that we were having issues with our fire sirens. They asked, what's the best way to get this so we don't have it again? And it was, well, have an annual maintenance agreement with us, and we'll keep track of things for you. So they will come in twice a year, in the spring and in the fall, and they'll do an inspection. One of the items that is posted in here is they'll check the batteries when they're here doing their inspection, but if a battery fails in the meantime, that would be on the city of Winter to make sure that they're checking it and fixing it. They're not gonna come any other time. Unless there is a report of some other issues, they would still come. The other item is the price. So what they have asked for is a total of $2,100 to monitor twice a year, all 6 sirens. This year, they are giving us a discount for 2 of them because of the fact they were just here at the end of last year and they fixed them. So they are giving us a discount, so you'll see when it comes through claims, it'll actually only be for $1,400, but in the future, it will be $2,100. This is an auto-renewing agreement, is my understanding, so every year in January, February, March, somewhere in there, they will send an auto-renewal to you. And the price may go up at that time. Now, if they come in and they find that there is a bunch of stuff that needs to be fixed when they're here, then there would be an additional cost to that. So the $2,100 is just for the coming in, maintaining our records and looking over things, but if they find that, I don't know enough about them, but something blew, the speaker blew in one of them, then obviously we would have to pay for the cost of the speaker at that point in time, and there would be some labor involved, but that is how the owner explained it to me.
So the $2,100 contract amount is just to find out something's wrong. It's not to fix anything, just to find out it's wrong. Okay,
And maintain our records for us.
but it's better to find out that it's wrong before we have a need for the siren
Right.
than after the event.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes.
Mr. Droshik, have you had a chance to review this contract?
I have.
Okay. It's an auto renew, but can we break it with the given notice at any given time, or?
That's not, in my recollection of the contract, that is not in here as written.
How do we get out of it ever then?
We would probably have to add that to the contract as a way,
Because if it's
otherwise
auto
at the
renew and there's no way out, it's a lifetime contract.
well, if we gave them notice, I'm guessing, but it's not in here how much notice they would need. On my recollection of it, if
I
Chandra,
don't remember seeing that either.
No.
I read it over a couple times too.
I just want to know how we can get out.
Yeah, I think we gotta have a way to get out
Well,
of it.
so I have a question. So if something is wrong, the $2,100, then do they charge us an hourly rate after that to, so if it takes them 8 hours to fix it, do they charge us an hourly rate tacked on to the $2,100, or how does that work?
Yes.
And there is a cancellation agreement in the contract, I'll just read it quick.
There is.
A copy of this document with an invoice will be provided to the purchaser of this contract. This contract will be re-invoiced prior to March 1, 2025, when the customer can choose to renew or cancel this contract. It's a one-year deal,
Okay.
okay? So yes, we can cancel it as long as we don't miss the deadline.
So Troy, to
Isn't that-
my understanding, what I read, it is that. It's just a contract for them to come and.
A service
two-
contract.
Yeah, they're just a-
right, 2 times a year,
Just
just
service.
do an inspection of our equipment and tell us the status of it at that time. That's it. Then repairs and everything are above that.
Correct.
I'm gonna
All we're
ask-
getting is the service of checking them. That's it. That's
Do
all
we-
this is getting us.
Do we
like
have
any
someone
maintenance
right now that has the skills or capabilities to do that with your
That's what I-
team?
that's-
Like,
Yeah, I mean, we have a city electrician, this is all,
So-
it's all electronic, I mean, I would like to take the time to take Ray out and see if he can, just show him the different places, show him the system and see if he's comfortable with, be able to troubleshoot them or how technical the testing is. It might be something that he's very capable of doing.
What's the committee say about that?
I'd prefer to do that.
I don't have a problem with that. $1,400 as opposed to 2 or 3 hours of our time in doing other projects. I don't know, what you consider an hourly rate for labor of our skilled labor force, right? But
I'm guessing it's gonna be upwards around $100 an hour. Pretty much what everybody gets these days.
right. I'm fine, Felicia, taking it back to committee and finding that.
Then a motion to table would be your option.
I would make a motion to table this.
I'll second that.
It's been moved to table by Hughes, second by Clay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Table. Thank you. Item number 4. Do we have a motion?
I'd make a motion to proceed with the contract with Fall River County for prisoner care and transport with the Winter Regional Corrections.
Is there a second?
I'd make that second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And for everybody's information, this is actually a secondary contract with Hughes County,
Fall River.
with Fall River County, thank you, to use our jail facility in the event that theirs is unable to be used. That's what this is, okay? So we'll do a roll call. Hughes.
Yes?
Schuyler.
Aye.
Shaheen.
Yeah.
Clay.
Yes.
And Miners.
Yes.
Item number 4 passes. Okay, we'll enter into new business. At this time, I would like to make the appointment of Mitch Miller as a,
No,
You
wait.
changed it.
You changed it.
oh, number 3 first. Way to mess me up. Okay, you want to get to a softball game, all right. We'll move on to item number 3. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to waive $525 billed to the Winter Girls Softball Association for the use of the community center in March and through May.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Shaheen? Moved by Schuyler, second by Shaheen, to waive the $525 billed to the Winter Girls Softball Association for use of the community center March through May. Shaheen?
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, may I have a
You bet.
comment, and then also if Marty would like to speak on behalf of it too.
Okay.
So it's my understanding, I happened to be gone when this was happening, but they called me while I was at the airport to ask. So they utilized our community center, which we have a fee for, so that they could practice indoors while it was cold, snowing, raining, what have you. We charged them the same fee that we always do. They paid a deposit, which, by the way, you will get back because you guys did a phenomenal job of cleaning up after yourself, so we never had any issues with them in there. What was decided to happen, rather than writing them a check for a donation, since we have the new system now that I can actually put in an adjustment to waive it, and then there's the paper trail there, we can do that. So you might see a few more of these come through. So the Parks Committee back then, way back in March, did say, yep, but don't come to us to have it waived until the very end. So you as council can choose to waive that at that point in time. And then, Marty, did you have some comments on it?
Do you want me to stand?
Yes, please, so they can hear you.
I thought she was in a hurry, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I know I am, but I'll talk fast.
So basically, I just mostly wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to get to use the space, because we have scoured the town to try to find something big enough. And like I told Shandra earlier today, until I win the lottery and build us a field house, this is the next best thing. So, we had roughly 60 little girls every week that we did these on Tuesdays. They love it. They love getting to start and to practice and to get the ball in their hand and get started with the season. And it's such an important thing to be able to use that space exclusively, just because there are 60 little girls, and when there's open to the public, you can't keep track of that many of them, because you know there's gonna be 4 in the bathroom at any given time, because you know us ladies, we all pee in groups. So, so I mostly just wanted to say thank you. Also, on another whole note that's not really related, I just wanted to compliment and pass along the compliment. We hosted an umpire clinic at the end of April, I believe it was, and had umpires that came out to the Bailey Park and had a group that participated in learning how to be certified umpires for the Softball Association, with us hosting the 8U tournament this year, state tournament this year. That was one of the requirements, that they wanted to use our umpires but wanted them to be certified. And the umpires that came to do the clinic from Sioux Falls had nothing but wonderful things to say about what a beautiful facility we had and what a nice park it was. So I know that a lot of work and money and effort's been put into that, and I just wanted to pass it along, that it wasn't just me noticing, it's, people from away from here that are noticing as well. So, congratulations on a good job. So, and again, thank you for waiving the fee. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Peterson. Shaheen, did you want to change your vote after her presentation?
Can I think about that later? No.
I'll call on you to vote again. Shaheen?
Yes.
Clay?
Yes.
Miners?
Yes.
Hughes?
Yes.
And Skylar?
Aye.
That motion to waive the $525 passes. Item number 4. Oh, jeepers, criminy, you guys. Here, I thought we were gonna get done early. Item number 1, mayoral appointment of Mitch Miller as Public Safety Commissioner at a salary of $416.72. $70,416.72 annual salary, full benefits, and 6-month probation. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make that into a formal motion
To approve?
to approve that appointment. He just said his appointment, and I'm
Yep.
making that into a formal motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I would second it.
Hughes. Councilman Clay moves to approve, Hughes with the second. Can I just do an all aye on this one?
Mr.
do we
Mayor,
have
I'd
to
like
do-
to call for a roll call vote,
Okay,
please.
we'll do a roll call vote, okay. Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Skylar,
No.
Councilman Shaheen,
Yes.
Councilman Clay,
Yes.
and Councilman Miners.
Yes.
The ayes have it. Congratulations, Mitch, and we'll issue the oath of office at this time, please. One for him, in case he can't remember. He remembers way better than me, I'll say. Mitch, I'll meet you right here in the middle. I'll give you one of these, so you don't have to memorize anything. Okay. You raise your right hand, please.
Give me one.
Repeat after me. I, Mitch Miller,
I, Mitch Miller,
having been appointed to the office of Public Safety Commissioner within the city of Winter, Tripp County, South Dakota,
having been appointed to the office of the city of the Public Safety Commissioner within the city of Winter, Tripp County, South Dakota,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
the Constitution of the state of South Dakota,
and the ordinances of the city of Winter,
and the ordinances of the city of Winter,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
perform all the duties of the office of the Public Safety Commissioner.
perform all the duties of the office of the Public Safety Commissioner.
Welcome aboard. And if you'll sign that document and give it to Shannon at the end.
I'll get to work.
Oh, yeah. Can we have a report? Thanks for that. Okay, now can we go to number 2?
You sure that's the number we're on, Brad?
I'm not. I am absolutely not. Okay. Is there a motion? Does everybody understand what we're doing here? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to award the Bailey's Complex improvement bid to Dakota Playground for the total amount of $128,810.
Thank you very much, Councilman Schuyler. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor, I'd second that.
Second by Miners. We'll have a roll call vote. Councilman Schuyler.
Aye.
Shaheen.
Yes.
Clay.
Yes.
Miners.
Yes.
And Hughes.
Yes.
Motion carries. Now we can go to item number 4, unless you guys want to go somewhere else. Is there a motion?
I motion that we approve the renewal for the Huckleberry for the malt beverage, 24-25.
I second that.
Moved by Shaheen, second by Hughes, to accept the renewal for Huckleberries of the 2024-2025 malt beverage license. We'll do a roll call.
Mr. Mayor.
Oh, go ahead.
Just for information, I know I asked council to not approve it last week or 2 weeks ago. I have since received all the information. We're still in the renewal period technically by the state standards, so we can move forward with just doing this as a renewal and not as a new license.
Thank you for that explanation. Councilman Clay,
Yes.
Miners,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Schuyler,
Aye.
and Shaheen.
Yes.
All ayes, that motion carries. Item number 5, is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the resolution 2024-12, a resolution amending the 2024 budget in the amount of $68,365 due to a reimbursement for the stoplight repairs from the state of South Dakota.
Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Been moved and seconded to accept the resolution 2024-12, a resolution amending the 2024 budget in the amount of $68,365 due to a reimbursement for the stoplight repairs from the state of South Dakota.
So-
Councilman Miners?
Hold on.
Oh,
Discussion.
just a minute. Did I read something wrong?
No, we,
Point of
I wanted to give
information.
the public an explanation of what this
Very
is.
good.
So what this is when we had the lightning strike on the stoplight, it was just neater and cleaner if the city of Winter paid for the repairs. And so we paid for all the repairs, and we did, and then once the whole repair process was gone through, now the state is reimbursing the city for the money spent. So the state actually is covering the bill for that lightning strike.
Thank you.
So since you subjected yourself to that, this does not include the repairs that we were just making under the street?
That's included.
That's included as well? Okay, good. Good. Okay, so we'll call the vote here. Miners,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Schuyler,
Aye.
Shaheen,
Yes.
and Clay.
yes.
Very good. That motion carries. Item number 6, I need to look up, I guess. Is there a motion?
I would probably make a motion to table it. That's my personal opinion. I would like to go back and kind of I know we hashed this out during our committee meetings, but after we'd gotten done, I didn't really feel comfortable with where we sat on.
So you're making a motion to table this?
Yes.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Motion moved and seconded to table this item. All in favor, say aye.
Mr. Mayor, discussion.
There is no discussion on a tabling of a motion, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
Thank
Yep.
you, thank you.
So all in favor of tabling this, please say aye.
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 All opposed, say no. Carries.
Can I ask one question? Is that in regards to these 7 pages that are in here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all I need, thank you.
I think you cannot, Councilman Miners, thank you. Item number 7, you'll tell me if I'm doing something wrong, right?
Oh, yeah.
Whether you know or not, yeah, okay. All right, is there a motion for item number 7?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve this with the understanding that we have it covered within the budget from other areas, the extra.
Motion to approve by Shaheen.
I'll second
Is there a
that.
second by
Yes,
Clay?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'll second
Very
that.
good. We have moved and seconded to approve the 2024 chip seal bid to Aztec per the April 30th bid opening with Bros Engineering at $77,812. Is there any discussion?
I have a question, approximately how many blocks, Troy, do we, I know it's kind of a,
It's Fulton from 6th to the highway, Lamro from one end of town to the other, and 13th Street from Lamro down to Short Street. And then around the corner on Short Street over to
20 blocks, give it.
20 or so? That,
Probably more.
probably more.
It's fair enough.
Chip seal.
Okay, motion by Shaheen, second by Clay to approve that. We'll do a roll call vote. Hughes,
Yes.
Skylar,
Aye.
Shaheen,
Yeah.
Clay,
Yes.
and Miners.
Yes.
All aye, motion carries. Item number 8. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept the quick claim deed from Richard and Sandy Lewis for South 68.68 of tracks D and E subdivisions of Lot 16, Smokes Out Lots, City of Winter.
Is there a second? Ask one more time, is there a second to that motion?
I think I need some clarifying
Okay, that
information.
motion will die for lack of a second, if we don't have one. Okay, moving on to claims. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I will make a motion to pay the claims as presented.
As presented.
Do we need to include the 525 or no?
No, there's not a check being.
Okay. Very good.
They're just not going to pay us.
That's right.
Skylar has a motion to pay the claims. Is there a second?
I'd second that.
Hughes. Mr. Attorney, what if we don't approve to pay the claims? Everybody gets mad at us?
I would assume
Okay,
so.
we have a motion and a second to pay the claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I guess we'll pay everybody. Does anybody know if we need an executive session? Okay,
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Skylar makes a motion to adjourn. Second,
I'll second.
Shaheen. All in favor, stand up and leave the room.
Aye.
Thank you very much for coming.
Yeah. and I didn't have any idea either, that's why.